As always, just make sure that you listen to your own body. So for some of you, the practice might be a bit strong. Hello, Lindy, I can see you. For some of you, the practice might be a bit strong. It's going to be, we're just kind of going to start with a bang this year. So make sure that you listen to your body. And even if I'm encouraging you to practice strongly, please use your own discretion and really feel into what is appropriate for you. So, you know, we're not in the same room, so I can't always sense exactly what's going on for each person. So you have to just kind of take that responsibility of feeling what's appropriate for you. And I think that's it. Yeah, those are my logistical announcements. So our theme for today, which I think we all need in this very interesting time that we're going through, is grounding, and really kind of finding this place where we can earth ourselves, and where we can find a sense of power in our own vitality, because there's so many conflicting views, and as this year goes on, unfortunately, what the astrology is pointing to is a lot more turbulence. And sometimes things need to break down before we can rebuild them in a healthy way. And so this is actually a good thing, but we're just going to have to kind of keep our center as we go on with this year. So we're going to start with our roots, the roots of our feet, the roots of our hands, and standing postures and handstands. I will give alternative to those of you that have your moon flow, or if you have any shoulder niggles or whatever. And also, if you have any injuries or health concerns, please do let me know. You can always message me, or if things come up throughout the class, just unmute yourself and ask me for a modification if I haven't given you one. Okay, so we're going to start. Come and sit in Dandasana. You might want to have a block handy. If you've got a sore knee, have a belt. And those of you with tighter hips or even sore knees, you might want to roll yourself a blanket. I'll show you how to use these in a moment. Can everybody hear me well? So is the sound good? Okay. And if you see me looking towards that screen, it's just that I've got a bigger screen on that side. So unfortunately, they're not on top of each other. So I have to look a little bit that way, then I can see from further away. So come and sit in Dandasana. And if you seated in Dandasana and you feel that you're rolling backwards, that's an indication that you need to sit on a block. So then you need to elevate your buttocks some. And we're going to start with a cross-legged position, crossing the right shin in front of the left shin. And so there are different ways to cross the legs, but this particular posture is called swastikasana in Iyengar Yoga. And so Sukhasana is the more loose kind of cross. But this is a very tight cross where you bring your shin bones directly on top of each other and your knees in line with your heels. And so that goes to the outer hip area. It opens up the hips in a different way. And so some of you might be elevated on a block right now. Those of you that are feeling any pinching in your hip flexors, that's also a sign that you need to lift your buttocks. And then those of you with knee issues or hip issues, you can put a blanket just to secure your shin bones so that your knees can rest. And then if your knee situation is quite strong, then what you can do is also just bring a belt behind your knee like that. Okay. So once you find your seat, then take your hands and move your buttock flesh backwards so that you're seated on the knuckles of your sitting bones. And then come to rest your palms of your hands onto your thighs. Let your elbows draw slightly back and down so that you can get this lift of your armpit chest area. And then just gaze straight ahead. So if the screen is in front of you, just kind of look behind the screen or above the screen or below the screen, wherever you can, but as directly in front of you as possible. And then when you feel ready, just let your top eyelids close onto your bottom eyelids and allow your attention to draw inward. And just becoming aware of your internal space. without any judgment, without over analyzing what you're feeling, just becoming aware of what's happening inside you. And then bring your attention down to the foundation of the posture and root your sitting bones down. Let your ankles relax, let your knees relax, let your inner groin area relax. So there's a softness as you let go towards the earth. Let your upper buttock area draw down, and then broadly spread your lower abdominal area back and up. And then begin to lift the front of your ribs, the back of your ribs, the sides of your ribs. And bring your shoulders into your back body, open your chest. And bring your palms of your hands now together in the center of your chest. So referring to it as the heart space area, although your heart is more towards the left, but your hands are in the center. And then just feeling a gentle smile in your heart space. Let your throat relax. Let your jaw relax. And let your tongue release away from the roof of your mouth, away from your teeth, so that there's an opening in your palate, and then visualize a very gentle smile in your palate. Let your eyeballs soften away from your eyelids, backwards to the base of your skull, and then downwards in the direction of your heart space. And the crown of your head, just very gently ease upward to the sky. So there's an organic length that comes into your spinal cord. Allow your breath to flow in its natural rhythm, whatever that is right now. We'll open with one chant of Om. Exhale, completely empty your lungs. Inhale deeply. Bow your head to your heart. And just take a moment here to make your own internal acknowledgements, whatever resonates with you in this moment. And then release the backs of your hands onto your thighs. Very softly let your eyes open and then raise your head back up. So staying seated with your right leg crossed in front. Now reach your arms forward and then bring your right index finger above your left index finger. Interlock right at the web of your fingers. Invert your palms and then bring your arms up and over your head. So as you stretch up, sit your sitting bones down towards the earth and spread, let your upper buttock area descend down and then spread your abdomen back and up and lift your front ribs, lift your back ribs, lift your side ribs up. And then as you draw your arms back, keep rolling this outer upper arm area forward. So this is your dog stretch. This is this external rotation of the upper arm. So your outer upper arms roll towards each other. There's that drawing, which makes the humerus bone fit very nicely into the shoulder sockets. And it's much healthier for the shoulders. The moment the arm starts turning that way, it's not healthy for the shoulders. So you've got to keep on drawing the armpits in towards each other. It's the same action in Adho Mukha Svanasana. It's the same action in your handstands. And then from where you are now, exhale, release your arms to the side. And then you can take your extra block or a chair or whatever you have available to whatever height you need. Some of you might be able to get your head onto the floor, but walk your hands wider than your shoulders forward, and then let your forehead soften onto your support or onto the floor. Let your elbows relax. Those of you with hip flexor niggles, you might just want to take a rolled blanket and put it into your lap. And just touching the earth, connecting to the earth. With that sense of surrender, of arriving in your body. So important that we feel embodied, because everything's moving quite fast and in many different directions. So just feeling yourself in your body, very alive right now in this moment. And then from there, slowly bring yourself back up. Stretch your legs out in front of you in Dandasana. And then change the cross of your leg. So your left leg in front of your right leg. Use whatever props you were using before. And again, check that you're crossing in the middle of your shin. So it's swastikasana, not sukhasana or any other cross-legged position. So the knees are in front of your heels, in line with your heels. And then again, take your hands and move your buttock flesh backwards. So you really feel that firm seat through your sitting bones. Reach your arms forward and bring your left index finger now above your right. Invert your palms, lock your elbows, and then bring your arms up and over your head. So let the sitting bones root down, stretch the palms of your hands up, open all your fingers and the whole heel of your hand. And then again, letting this upper buttock area settle down. Spread your abdomen back and up, and then begin to lift your front ribs, your back ribs, and your side ribs up. Relax this upper trapezius area, because that gets quite tense for a lot of us, especially now. Let it release down your back. And then as you draw your arms more back and up, keep again this Adho Mukha Svanasana action of rolling this outer upper arm area forward. So you're trying to turn the armpits to face towards each other more and more. And that's going to become very useful in the handstands later on. Soften your throat, relax your eyes. And then on the next exhalation, release your arms beside your body. And then walk again your hands forward, wider than your shoulders. Use whatever support you need to rest your forehead down. Elbows relaxed, and let your head and your neck relax. Morning, Ilanya. And as you stay here, again, just notice if there's any holding or hardening or any tension coming into the body. And just softening, breathing into the areas where you might feel a sense of gripping. And I see some of you might have your arms quite close together. Widen your arms, really let it open up. Let your neck relax, let your shoulders relax. Touch the earth. Let your hands be flat so you can really feel the touch of the earth. And then from there, slowly come back up. Stretch your legs out in front of you in Dandasana. And then come up to standing and just observe the screen. So most of you are familiar with my way of doing sun salutations, but I'll just demonstrate for those of you that are new or if you need a reminder. We're going to do 3 rounds of this. So when you stretch your arms up, if you have tight shoulders, you can just face the palms of your hands together. Those of you with more open shoulders, you're welcome to bring your hands together. That's a stronger opening of the shoulders. So we'll start with that and then folding forward. So here, when you jump back, I suggest that you step back a little bit, come onto the balls of your feet. The hands rooted down, so they're ready for your dog stretch. And then from there, jumping back. And then we'll land in dog stretch first. This is to take the punch out of the shoulders. So jumping into chaturanga is not really available to everybody. And over long-term jumping into chaturanga actually wears and tears the shoulder joint. So this is like you setting yourself up. Then palakasana. If you have any lower back issues, drop your knees down onto the floor and come to lie on the floor. Otherwise, here, coming into chaturanga, forward, then up into Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, or you can choose to just go into Baby Bhujangasana. Adho Mukha Svanasana, and then coming forward, folding, and then we'll come back up. Okay, so you might not be able to see the screen now because you're going to stand to one edge of your mat. If you need to follow me for the first round, you can just look to the side. Otherwise, come and stand and just listening carefully, feet together. Have a little bit of space in front of your feet. And then come and stand with your palms together in Tadasana. Look straight ahead, soften your eyes. Inhale, reach your arms up. Palms facing each other, little finger side of the hand rolling towards each other, or bring your palms together. But keep that external rotation of your upper arms that we had earlier on. Exhale, fold forward into Uttanasana. Use blocks for your hands if you can't quite get your hands down onto the floor. But most importantly, as you hold this posture, make sure that you're not bending your spine. Rather, bend your knees if you need to bend anything. Let your upper body relax. Take a few moments here. Let the shoulders relax. Then on your next inhalation, lift your chest. Urdhva Uttanasana. You can be on your fingertips initially. Keep broadly spreading your abdomen back to your spine. And now, remove your blocks if you're using blocks. Everybody flatten your hands down to the floor. So index fingers facing forward. Some of you that have hyperextended elbows, you might want to turn the index fingers in slightly. And then lean forward onto your hands. Come onto the balls of your feet. Draw your abdomen back to your lower spine. And then as you push into your hands, step or hop, dog stretch, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a moment to land here. So outer edges of your feet in alignment with each other, feet hip distance apart. Look between your big toes so you can see what's happening with your feet. And then rooting down, especially through the thumb and index finger side of your hand. And now coming to that external rotation of your upper arm that we did when you were facing your arms up. You've got to roll the inner upper arm out to the side. So the inner upper arm externally rotates, and then the outer upper arms hug in towards each other. And release the upper trapezius. Feel that the stronger you get that rotation, the more you can release your shoulders away from your neck. So the distance between the feet and the hands here is important for the vinyasa to fit in. Some of you might need to step further back, but let's see how it goes. So come forward into Palakasana. Be on the balls of your feet. Spread your abdomen back to your spine. Collarbones are open. And remember, your head weighs a lot. So look slightly forward where you're going to go. Those of you with lower back shoulder niggles, just drop your knees down to the floor. Otherwise, come onto the tippy toes for Chaturanga Dandasana. Elbows back, chest forward. Inhale, roll onto the tops of the feet. So if you find that you're getting stuck, then you need to widen the distance between your hands and your feet. Lift your chest up, open your throat. Exhale, massage your toes as you roll back to your heels, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So with all the instructions today, see that as a way of just bringing you into your body, so that right now there's no other thoughts except how you aligning yourself. Come up onto the balls of your feet. Keep your buttocks high up, bend your knees, lie your chest onto your thighs, suck your abdomen back to your spine. Look forward in between your hands where you're going to go. And then on the next inhalation, press into your hands, float your body forward, look up. Now you might need your blocks again. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold, relax your head and your neck. And then inhale, reach your arms all the way up, either palms touching or facing each other. And then coming to Tadasana. So just notice if there's a tendency, we're going extra slow, the next one will be faster, to rush ahead. So just letting the mind be in the body, in the moment. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, Uttanasana. Stay for a few breaths. So again, each posture can be very profound as we stay and just feel it out. Notice your breath. Notice the subtle sensations in your body. Inhale, open your collarbones, flatten your hands. So you're setting them up for your dog stretch, fingers spread wide. Lean your body weight into your hands and then jump back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Draw up your thigh muscles onto the thigh bone. So your fronts of your thighs, your back thighs, your inner and outer thighs, activate your legs. Inhale, come forward into Palakasana. So stay here for a moment. And those of you where your feet did not fit into the rolling of the toes, you might need to make the distance between your feet and your hands longer. Exhale, Chaturanga, or drop your knees down to the floor. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana or Bhujangasana. Open your heart space. Take another breath here. Open your throat. Relax your shoulders. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Come onto the balls of your feet. Lift your buttocks. Bend your knees, lie your chest onto your thighs, suck your abdomen back to your spine and look where you're going to go in between your hands. Your drishti determines where your body's moving. Inhale, step or jump forward. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, Tadasana. Okay, one more. One breath per movement now. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhva Uttanasana, flatten your hands, open your chest. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, Palakasana. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a breath here. Inhale, come forward, Urdhva Uttanasana, lift your chest. Exhale, drop your head. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up. And coming to stand in Tadasana. So come and stand in the middle of your mat, facing the screen. So good to have the orientation like this, if it's possible. Have a block or two blocks handy. Some of you might need a chair. And we're going to come into Prasarita Paratanasana. So let me just demonstrate. Most of you know this. The wider your legs are apart, the easier your head will go down. If you have your feet closer together, I'll just demonstrate that, then it's a further distance for your head. The wider you walk your feet, the easier your head will go down. So have some support. If you are using your blocks for your hands, then I would suggest that you use a chair to put your forehead down. If you have other support like a bolster or something, then you can use that for your head. Those of you that have your hands on the floor, you'll eventually walk your hands backward, and then maybe you just need one prop for your head so that you can rest your crown of your head. We'll go in together. Just have your props close by. Okay. So those of you with tighter hamstrings, you might want your blocks for your hands on whichever orientation works for you. Come and stand with your feet together. Have your hands onto your hips. Spread your abdomen back to your spine and lift your chest up. And then bend your knees. And on the inhalation, when it's nice and light, jump your feet apart. Lower back knee issues don't jump. Just remember that. Outer edges of your feet in alignment. Lift your chest up. And then on the exhalation, folding forward from your hip crease, bring your hands underneath your shoulders and lengthen your spine forward. So this is where some of you might need your hands onto your blocks to see what works for you. Holding it there for a bit. Lengthen from your pubic bone to your breastbone forward. And then it might be that this is where you stay for today, just keeping your head in line with your spine. And then some of you might want to walk your hands backward, if that's a possibility, in line with your feet, and then bring your head down. So either the crown of your head onto the floor, or you're going to use your block or blocks in whatever orientation you need. Make sure that there's space at the back of your neck. So if you find that there's any crunching in the neck, that means you need to bring your feet a little closer together, or you remove some of the props under your head. If you can't quite rest your head down, then make your legs wider. So, and those of you with tighter hamstrings, you might just be resting your forehead down, and maybe that's even not working today, then you just let your head relax. Let the head become quiet. Draw up your knees and your thighs. Your legs are working for you here so that your upper body can soften. Draw your upper arms back into your shoulder sockets. And draw your shoulder blades onto your back. So it's almost like you letting the upper arm area and the shoulder blades connect with each other. So there's a firmness in the shoulder girdle. Feeling your breath, feeling embodied. And those of you that walked your hands further back, now walk your hands forward, lengthen your spine, look up. And then everybody just heel toe your feet 1 foot closer so you get a grip on your legs. And then bring your hands onto your hips. Draw your abdomen back to your lower spine and see, can you lengthen your spine forward? And then from there, come up and jump your feet together. So Trikonasana, and I just want to point out a few things. We worked with it quite extensively last year, but just to recap and maybe add a little bit more information. Each of you will absorb whatever is appropriate for you. But as we go into the posture, the heels stay down. It's just the feet that move. And then we'll start with the hips square. But when you go into the posture, this outer right hip, I'm going to show from the back in a moment, has to draw towards your left inner thigh. That means that these two headlights of your hips are going to follow that right leg. The abdomen and the chest will go towards the left hand. I'm just mirroring you for those of you that are wondering why I'm going to the side. Your hand is either on your shin, it depends on where your length is, or fingers on the floor. And then the hips are continuing to go that way. But this hip eventually lifts up a little bit, and that happens through this inner thigh going to the outer thigh. But you don't want to lift it so much that it throws you out again. So because this is a nice fit for that femur bone. The other thing I want to show from the back is that as you allow this outer right hip to go backward, watch out that you're not jutting the bum out. So this sitting bone has got to come in while you're taking that hip back. Okay, and these principles we're going to use for the next few postures. So we'll start with Trikonasana, but the next two postures are also based on that. And we're going to do longer holds. So see how you go. If it's really important to come out, do that. But if it's just your mind telling you that you want to come out, then just see if you can stay a little longer. Okay, come and stand in the center of your mat. Bend your knees, bring your fingertips to touch. If you've got lower back stuff or knee issues, don't jump. Otherwise, on the inhalation, jump out, stretch your arms out to the side. Make sure your heels are rooted down. Draw your thigh muscles up and lift your spine. Turn your left toes in. Turn the whole right leg out. So in the femur bone and the hip socket, turn it out. For the moment, square your hips forward. And now as you start to go into the posture, turn both of your headlights of your hips towards that right leg. Draw that outer right hip back. Turn your abdomen and your chest to your left side and let your right hand land onto the shin or wherever it lands. And then reaching this left arm up. So your arms are stacked above on top of one another. Recheck in that outer right hip is drawing towards your left inner thigh. You're beautiful. Very nice, guys. And without throwing the hips out, draw that right sitting bone in. Check that both the headlights of your hips are still following that right leg. But your abdomen and your chest turning up towards that left hand. And we're going to stay here for some time, lengthening the spine. Joanna, lean your head slightly back. That's it. So one last little instruction here is just to bring your left side ribs into your body so you can open up the right side ribs. Often we shorten the right side. Keep your abdomen back to your lower spine. And then on the next inhalation, reach your left arm up, come up. Keep your arms stretched out if possible and square the outer edges of your feet. And then turn your right toes in. Turn your whole left leg out. So you're turning in the hip socket, the femur bone. The heels stay rooted. Arms out to the side. For the moment, square your hips forward. And then again, as you begin to go into the posture, think of your two headlights. You're going to shine those headlights over that left leg, but the abdomen and the chest stays towards the right side. Draw this outer left hip back towards your right inner thigh. And then land your left hand wherever you find it's possible and reach your right arm up above your left arm. Your arms are stacked on top of each other. Oh, very nice. Keep the legs engaged. Draw the thighs up. That outer right hip, draw it strongly towards that left inner thigh. And there's just a bringing in of that sitting bone. So it's like you seal yourself into your pelvis. But watch out when you do that, that you don't throw the pelvis out again. Check that your headlights are still shining over that left leg. Your abdomen, your chest turning up to the left side. And then notice if you're shortening the left side of your body. A lot of us do that. Bring your left side rib, right side ribs in to open up these left side ribs. Relax your shoulders. Spread your abdomen back to your lower spine. And then reach your right arm up. Inhale, come up. Square your feet. And on the inhalation, jump your feet together. So the reason why, there's a whole debate about whether you jump on an inhalation or exhalation. My teacher, Judy Farrow, says it keeps your organs lifted, especially as we grow older. That's why we're jumping on an inhalation. So the next two postures, just observe. I would say put your blocks at the back edge of your mat for in case you need to use them. And we're going to go into Virabhadrasana 2 and into Parsvakonasana. Just observe. And it's going to be a long journey because we're going to stay here. Same principles we've been working with. Hip bones are going that way, abdomen, chest this way. Okay, and we'll stay in warrior 2 for some time. And then from there, coming into Parsvakonasana. Some of you might need your block on whichever orientation, otherwise the hand is down. Okay. So come and stand in the center of your mat. Just have your blocks handy for in case you feel that you need them for the Parsvakonasana. Bend your knees, bring your fingertips to touch, and then either step or jump your feet apart. Stretch your arms out. Make sure your heels stay grounded. Turn your left toes in. Turn the whole of your right leg out. And this time, bend your right knee so that it's directly above your ankle. If you need to make your stance longer, then do that. And as you do that, watch that this inner knee is not collapsing in. So part of that drawing of the outer hip back is to keep this inner knee out. Arms stretched out in line with your shoulders, hip bones following that right leg, your abdomen and your chest drawing towards your left arm. And then have a look at your arms and just check that they're equal height. For today, bring your fingers together so you compact your hands. And here's that warrior stance, really standing in your power. Relax your shoulders. So some of you are leaning a little too far forward to the right side. Yeah, that's it. Draw into that left arm a bit more. Nice. Jane, bring your right leg forward a bit more. So watch that your knee must be directly above your ankle. If the knee joint goes way over the ankle, that means you've got to take a wider stance. And then exhale now, draw that outer right hip back, continue that action and bring your right hand down on the outside of your right foot, left arm up and all the way over your ear. So you can use a block for your hand if you need it. Your hip bones are following that right leg, that outer right hip drawing towards your left inner thigh. Turn your abdomen and your chest open to the sky. And now reach your left arm and your left foot. Stretch them away from each other so you open up your side body, extended side angle pose. Again, notice if you're shortening your right side, bring your left side ribs in and open up the right side of your body. Inhale, swing your left arm up, come up. Well done, everyone. Square your feet. If it's possible, keep your arms up. It's a very good exercise for your heart and your lungs. Now, turn your right toes in. Turn the whole of your left leg out. So you stand into that heel. Bend your knee so that it comes directly above your ankle. So if the stance is like this, where the knee goes beyond the ankle, it's not very good for the knee joint. You might see a lot of Indian people practice like that, but it's our Western bodies are not designed similarly. So hip bones following that left thigh, chest and abdomen drawing towards that right hand. Draw this outer left hip back. And then notice sometimes the tendency is to go a little bit too far forward. See if you can keep your torso in line with your pelvis. Check your arms that they're in line with each other. And pause there for a moment. Just feel yourself in your power. So the more we embodied now, the greater our resilience to deal with whatever's coming up for us. Breathe. Then on the next exhalation, bring your left hand down on the outside of your left foot. Reach your right arm all the way up and over your ear. Use a block for your left hand if you need it, if you use it on the other side. Keep that outer left hip drawing back towards your right inner thigh. Turn your abdomen and your chest open to the sky. And now stretch your right hand and your right foot away from each other. So you want to make maximum space in your side body. Lindy, can you bring your left hand on the outside? That's it, yeah. Then you can use it as a fulcrum. So hitting the knee onto that upper arm. Bring your right side ribs in, lengthen your left side ribs. Inhale, swing that left arm up, come up, square the outer edges of your feet. And on the inhalation, jump your feet together. Come to stand. Tadasana. So sometimes we neglect the standing poses and they're actually so important. they really help the inversions as well. Okay, Parshvottanasana. So now the orientation of the hips change somewhat. Just have a look. So hand position, if you can, Paschima Namaskar, otherwise holding onto the opposite elbows. Just watch for the moment. So once you come into the posture, again, the heels stay down. But now you want both hips to fully face that leg. So we'll lift the heel up, step the foot out a tiny little bit for a cheat so that your balance is easier, and then rooting that heel down. And then we're going to stand here for some time. Again, see it as a meditation. And then finally, we'll go over this leg. So those of you that can absorb more information, the alignment is actually the center of this knee with your second toe. That's kind of the alignment. So sometimes the foot is turned out a little bit depending on your leg. So that's extra information for whoever can take it in. Come and stand in the center of your mat. Reach your arms out to the side. And then bring your hands either into Paschima Namaskar, if that works for your body. Please don't force it. Palms together, or you just hold on to your opposite elbows. And then bend your knees. So only jump if your lower back and your knees are okay. And then from there, jump your feet apart. So it might not be such a long stance. It is a little bit shorter than the other postures. Those of you with your hands together, press especially the thumbs together. And now press into that left heel, turn the left toes in. Press into your right heel and turn the whole right leg out. And now from there, you're going to lift this left heel up and wrap that outer left hip forward and then root the heel down. So stand up, stay standing, both your hips facing towards the right side of your mat. Roll your inner groin, your inner left groin, roll it back and out and wrap that outer left hip forward. Draw your thigh muscles up and coil your tailbone and your pubic bone in towards each other so that you lift up from the base of your pelvic floor. You activate your spine, chest open. And now turn your body over that right leg and very, very slowly, with control, go forward over the right leg, keeping your outer hips compact. Keep your abdomen broadly spreading back to your lower spine and don't go too far. So especially those of you with hip flexor niggles, just be very cautious. And if your hips start getting sore, then put your belts on. Lengthen the front spine from the pubic bone to your breastbone, lengthen forward. Open your collarbones and relax your upper trapezius. On your next inhalation, slowly come up. Turn your feet square. Keep your hand position if it's possible. Those of you holding the opposite elbows, you're going to now change the arm. So the other elbow comes on top. And then from there, turn your right toes in, press into the left heel and turn the whole left leg out. So that now we're halfway there. Lift your right heel up, wrap that outer right hip forward, and then root down the heel. So it's from that grounding of that right heel that you're going to express the posture. Middle of the knee, left knee aligned with the second toe. So just, it's like a meditation. So now you're standing in this moment. For most of us, there's a feeling that we want to rush forward. Can you ground down through your feet, draw your thighs up, and I'll roll that right inner groin, roll it back and out. So you wrap that outer right hip forward. Coil your tailbone in, draw your pubic bone back towards your tailbone, lift from the pelvic floor, your spine up. And then turn your body over that left leg and slowly go forward. Keep your outer hips compact. So it's like a meditation. You're aware of each micro movement. Hello, Tara. Lengthen your front spine, pubic bone to breastbone, lengthen forward, collarbones open, shoulders released. Inhale, slowly come back up. Square the outer edges of your feet. Keep your hand position and jump your feet together. Inhale. And then release your arms and just take a moment to roll your arms forward and backwards. Just let everything go. Very good neural stretch. So next posture, same principles. We're going to go into Virabhadrasana 1. So similar orientation. We're also going to spend some time here, but the arms are up and then bending the knee. So it's exactly the same hip position. Okay, so come and stand in the center of your mat. This is the last standing pose. Fingertips to touch. Bend your knees, jump your feet apart. Bring your arms up. So if your shoulders are tighter, then just let your palms face each other. Otherwise, bring your hands together. Here's that downward facing dog stretch. Outer upper arms rolling forward. So you're hugging the outer upper arms in. It's strong action on the heart and the lungs when you work with the arms like this. If your arms get tired, hands on your hips. Now turn your left toes in. I just want to do it this way. And turn your whole right leg out. Lift your left heel up, wrap that outer left hip forward, root your left heel first. Keep your right leg straight for the moment. Find your balance. Then from the grounding of that left heel, begin to, as a resistance, bend your right knee. And check that the knee is above your ankle. Draw your outer right hip back, your outer left hip forward. Tailbone to pubic bone connection, and then lift up from the base of your pelvic floor. Lift your spine up. Roll the outer upper arm area forward. And then those of you who feel it's appropriate, keep the space at the back of your neck and begin to open your throat as you look upward. Then look straight ahead. Square the outer edges of your feet forward. Now, here's the thing. If you can, keep your arms up. I know this is where it gets intense. Can you still roll the outer upper arm area forward? If it's too much, hands on your hips. And we're going to change to the other side. So turn your right toes in. Turn the whole left leg out. Lift that right heel up. Wrap that outer right hip forward. Root the heel down. Keep that left leg straight for now. From the grounding of that right heel, begin to bend as a resistance this left knee. Draw that outer left hip back, that outer right hip forward. Very nice, everyone. And then tailbone, draw it in towards your pubic bone and draw your pubic bone back towards your tailbone and know that you're building your resilience for 2021. Roll the outer upper arm area forward. Those of you that are able and feel it's appropriate, keep the space at the back of your neck and begin to open up your throat area as you look up. Then look straight ahead. Turn the outer edges of your feet forward. Can you keep your arms up just that little bit more? And then open your arms out to the side. Very good. And inhale, jump your feet together. Come and stand in Tadasana. Stretch your little finger side of your hand back and down. Open your chest. And when you feel ready, just close your eyes and stand in Tadasana, in mountain pose. And just feel your breath. Feel your heartbeat. That sense of being in your body right now. And then softly open your eyes. Well done, everyone. Okay, a little bit more action and then we're going to start doing more restorative at the end. I promise you it will come. But we're just building our stamina. I find that that's kind of what we've got to do right now. Take yourself a spot at the wall. Those of you that have your moon flow or shoulder issues, I'm going to give you variations first. And then I'll explain what we're going to do for everybody else. Take a block with you. Okay, so your mat orientation, the one end of your mat against the wall and the other area of your mat into the room. And if you can take your camera so I can still have a vision of it. Okay. So those of you that have your moon flow, or you are not inverting for some reason, but your shoulders are okay, what you'll be doing, and I just want to demonstrate this on one of the mats as well. So you're going to be holding a dog stretch for a long time. If you find your hands slip at all, ever, this is for always, you can always grip your sticky mat like this. So you can always take a grip on your sticky mat like that if you start feeling that your hands are slipping, especially when you're holding a dog stretch for a long time. So this is going to be option number one for those of you menstruating, and you can even grab your mat like that, and you're going to just build your stamina here. If you need to, you can relax in Adho Mukha Virasana. Those of you with shoulder stuff, you're going to be holding your Uttanasana with your legs as wide as your sticky mat and just holding it there. Obviously, use your blocks if you need to. And also, if you feel it's enough, anybody that feels it's enough, you're going to relax in Adho Mukha Virasana. Everybody else, you're going to take a measurement, first of all, where you're going to sit with your buttocks against the wall, and then you're going to take your block and just put your block, the edge of your block where your heels are, because that's where you're going to place your fingers, basically. The bridge of your hand is going to go there. Some of you might want to go a bit further, but that's kind of going to be the strong variation. So your block will be your indicator, and you'll just keep your block there. And then you'll set up your hands, so the knuckles of your fingers will come there. Downward facing dog arms, this external rotation. And then the first variation, for those of you that are still working on strengthening your shoulders, the higher you walk up the wall, the easier it is on the shoulders, and you'll just kind of get used to going upside down. And you might want to do that a few times today and just stay with this variation. If you are challenging yourself, you'll come more into an L shape and holding it there and just using the power of your legs to keep you up. And then in between, the resting pose is Uttanasana, just relaxing the shoulders. Use whatever props you need, and we'll do that a second time. Okay, so take the posture that's appropriate for you right now, either Adho Mukha Svanasana, staying in Uttanasana, or come and sit with your back against your wall, and then take your block and put your block, the edge of your block where your heels are, and just take it out to the side a little bit. So then you're going to turn yourself around and place the knuckles of your fingers where the edge of that block is. Spread them wide. So index fingers normally facing forward, but if you have hyperextended elbows, you might want to turn the index fingers slightly in. And then from there, coming to a little mini dog stretch with your heels onto the wall. Already get that external rotation of your upper arms, wrapping the outer upper arms in. And then begin to walk your feet up the wall. So either walking all the way up the wall, if you just want to get used to the feeling of balancing on your arms, then that's an easier variation. And then you can start challenging yourself if you would like to, and you can slowly begin to walk more into an L shape. But as you walk your feet down, you'll notice that the strength in the arms need to be a bit stronger. So do what's appropriate for you. Otherwise, you just keep your legs high up. Maybe that's enough for the first one. Feel it out. External rotation of your upper arms. Draw your lower front ribs in. Kari's friend, I forgot your name now. Draw your lower front ribs in. Bring your ribs in a bit. Yes, that's it. Yeah. Okay, and then the resting pose as you come down is a simple Uttanasana with your legs wide. Use your blocks for your hands if you need to. And just let your shoulder girdle relax. Let your head and your neck relax. And just take a moment there. Sometimes we haven't turned upside down for a while, and then it's like you make a milkshake out of yourself. So just give yourself some time. The hormones, everything gets shaken up a bit. And then before you go into your second round, first stand up. Lift your head up so that the blood pressure can change. You might get a bit of a head rush. That's absolutely normal. And then we're going to go for another round. So again, if you found it difficult to come into that L shape, please keep your legs higher up. So that the more you do it, and you just do it in a way that your body starts trusting you. You don't have to push anywhere. Okay, so once again, just take your measurement. You might even kind of know how far it is now. Then you don't have to measure. Otherwise, take your block, put it into place, and then come and set up your hands. And then once again, once you've got your hands set up, come into a short dog stretch, just with your heels onto the wall. And first of all, get that external rotation of your inner upper arms out. Your outer upper arms wrap in. Relax your neck and your shoulders. And then you walk your legs up the wall. So go for the higher one. Go for the higher one. Stay there for a moment. Start trusting your arms. Get the external rotation of your upper arms. Suck your abdomen back to your spine. And then if you want to challenge yourself, then you can walk more into an L shape. Yeah, that's it. Legs must be strong. Draw your thighs up. Very nice, everyone. And then again, the relaxing posture is just Uttanasana. Let your upper body fold forward. Make your legs wide. Use whatever support you need. Relax your shoulders. Those of you in your dog stretch or in your Uttanasana, if you only did those variations, please relax into your child's pose now. If any of you that are folding forward need to completely relax, then you can also go into Adho Mukha Virasana. So just feel what is appropriate for you right now. Come back to your breath. Come back to just feeling embodied. So we're earthing the electricity of our bodies, which is our nervous system. Most of us have our nervous systems a little bit out at the moment, and we're kind of training the resilience of the nervous system. And we'll do some restorative towards the end to really let it integrate. And then from here, bring your hands onto your hips. If you're on the mat, just slowly come up and come up to standing. So if you feel that you've had enough of the inversions, then those of you that would like to, as a relaxing posture, especially if you feel lightheaded or anything, you can just lie with your legs up the wall in Viparita Karani and just take a moment to completely relax, okay? Those of you wanting a little bit more action, we're going to turn around now and we're going to kick up the wall. So the first kick-ups are going to be with one leg at a time. And then we're going to try two-legged bunny hops. Okay, so if you can't see on your screen where you are, come closer to the screen so you can have a good look at it. Your hands about 2 hands width away from the wall. And then we'll take one leg forward. So this knee to chest connection also gives you a connection to the abdomen. The back leg, you want to think of pushing into the heel and imagine that it's like a hammerhead that you're throwing up. So that will bring your body up quite easily. The other thing is to use the back of your head as a navigation tool. So you're looking forward. Okay, so that's the coming up. Is like that. So you use this connection there, and then you throw this leg up. So it's almost like a pendulum, and you swing up, and then you can bring your legs up. Once you're up, compact your outer upper arm. So there's that external rotation. Compact your hips, and then you find your balance here. And then coming down, relaxing Uttanasana, and then we'll change to the other leg. So we'll give the one leg a bit of time. Then those of you wanting to challenge yourself a little more, the next few rounds will be double legs. So drawing the abdomen back to your lower spine and then looking forward. And again, you can use your inhalation. So it just gives you a little pump to come up. Okay, so let's go for it. Come and bring your hands close, about 2 hands distance away from the wall. Otherwise, you're lying with your legs up the wall. Fingers are spread wide. And come onto the balls of your feet. And then step your 1 foot forward. Just notice which, in fact, let's all take the same leg. Take your left leg forward, because we need to try both sides. Sometimes the one side works better than the other side. Step your left foot forward, extend into this right heel, activate that right leg. Look forward towards the wall, press into your hands, and then from there, keep your left knee to your chest and just throw this right leg up. Do it a few times. Keep that left knee into your chest so you get the core connection. And then you might find that, yes, you go up and then you can hold it. So keep that left knee tight and keep that right leg active and throw it up. Look towards the wall. Keep the back of your head lifted. That's a navigation tool. Once you're up, hold it for a few breaths. Compacting your outer upper arms, compacting your outer hips, and see if you can find a moment to balance. Use the power of your legs that you built in your standing postures. Activate your legs. And then Uttanasana is the resting posture. Relaxing for a moment. Let your head and your neck and everything relax. Again, if you feel you've had enough, you'll just be in Viparita Karani at the wall. Otherwise, bring your hands about 2 hands width away from the wall, and now you're going to change legs. So notice one side is usually much easier than the other side. Bring your right knee to your chest, extend into that left heel, activate that left leg, look forward towards the wall. And then imagine it's like a pendulum swinging. You want to kick that left leg up, keep the right knee in towards your chest. And go a few times, go up and down and up and down. And then finally, you might find that you're up. But really empower that left leg as you throw it up. Yeah, that's it. Nice. Once you get yourself up, then external rotation of the upper arms. Hug your outer upper arms in. Hug your outer hips in. Find the compactness of your hips. And then once you've had enough, come to rest in Uttanasana. If you feel you've had enough, just come and lie with your legs up the wall. Those of you wanting to go a little further, I'm trying to see where Kari is. I think I've lost the vision of you. Come and those of you wanting, oh, there you are. I hope you're humping up that wall, eh? Okay, come and do the double leg hops. Listen, just have fun with it. So think of this as one way of embodying yourself. It's like you're taking your vitality into your own hands. If you feel it's enough, legs up the wall. Otherwise, hands down. Come onto the balls of your feet, suck your abdomen back to your spine, look forward, and then like a bunny, just hop up and down. So just find that lift. It doesn't matter how high you go, just hop up and down for a few times. Very good exercise for the heart and the lungs. You're building your resilience. That's it. Nice, Skylar, go for it. Yes. That's it. Just hop. Suck your abdomen back to your spine. Find that core connection. Doesn't matter how high you go. You just visualize yourself flying. That's it, Joanna. Go. Keep your legs together. That's it. Ilanya, nice. That's it. Few more times. See, can you hop up? Look forward to the wall. Use the back of your head as a navigation tool. Keep your outer upper arms compact. That's it, Luca. Yes. And once you feel your heart is beating strongly and you feel that you're alive, then come and relax in Uttanasana. In fact, sorry, come and relax completely in Adho Mukha Virasana. I think it's enough. And we're going to restore from here onward. So just feel that aliveness in your body right now. I think this is a little bit overlooked, is that we are not dead yet. We are not all ill yet, so let's just be in the moment and enjoy this vitality that we all have right now. While it's still here, you know, maybe it's gone tomorrow, but right now you've got it. And just being totally alive in your body in this moment. And then slowly roll yourself up. Bring your mat away from the wall. If you want to go back to your original orientation, then do that. And make sure you bring your camera along. Those of you with tighter hamstrings, I would suggest that you use a chair now. You might want to put a chair on the back edge of your mat here. So I'm just going to put it to the side because I'm not going to use it, but some of you might want a chair. So there are two variations. Those of you who have like a lot of stuff going on with your neck and your spine, you're going to take it a little slower, and I'll demonstrate that first. Everybody to keep their neck and spine, their neck in line with their spine. So this is the gentle variation, is you'll just be rocking forward and backwards like this. Those of you wanting to go into a fuller variation, we're going to do a few rounds together and then you'll go on your own, but it's going to look like this. So each time you inhale, you're going to stretch your arms up, exhale, folding forward, inhale, arms up, arms stay up, exhale, rolling backwards. So that's where some of you might need a chair for your feet. And then we're going to go like that, forward and backwards. Some of you might want to stay here and drop into a Karna Pidasana, to just open up the middle of your back and the upper back. And then when you roll out of it, it's inhale, exhale. So initially we'll just go one breath, one movement, and then you can slow it down on your own if you want. Okay, so come and sit. If you want to face the screen, however your mat is set up, doesn't matter. Come and sit in Dandasana. Those of you doing the other variation, you'll lie down on your back and hug your knees into your chest. And now inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Doesn't matter how far you go. Inhale, reach your arms up. Keep your arms up. Exhale, roll backward. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, roll backward. Throw your arms over your head. It opens up the middle back, the upper back. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, Paschimottanasana, fold. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, Halasana, arms over your head. Now go at your own pace. So each time you reach up, you inhale, and each time you fold, either forward or backwards, you exhale. And if you feel that you want to slow it down and hold either the forward fold or the backward roll, then please feel free to do that. Use your own discretion. You're welcome to bend your knees, especially if your hamstrings are tight. Keep your knees bent. And just move with your breath. Massage your own body. Find that fluidity in your spine, relaxing the neck and the shoulders. And see how your body feels to move now. It might be very slow, might be a little faster. Whatever intuitively feels right for you. Let your breath move your body. And finish the round that you are on and do one more final round. And then from there, once you've done your last round, just coming up to seated. Okay, so we're going to go into a holding of, what's it called? Upavishta Konasana. And so some of you, if you've got really tight hamstrings, it might not be possible for you to rest your head on the chair or whatever, and it might be more comfortable if you then take a variation where you sit on a block and you sit close to a wall, and you might be on a few blocks, whatever, but this is a good variation for those of you with tighter hamstrings and tight inner groins. You can just fold forward in this way. Okay, those of you with more open bodies, you're going to use your blocks to lie over them, or maybe just use your block. If you're sitting on one, you might just use one for your head, or you can use a chair for your head. And just have a look. Those of you with quite supple bodies, you're going to take your blocks in this orientation, and then eventually you'll be resting your forehead and your abdomen on something. And you might want to rest your arms. So take the variation that works for your body today. And we'll go in together, and you're just going to stop and find what works for you. So come and sit, first of all, in Dandasana. So you're either facing a wall, if that's what you're using, or you just seated on the earth. Maybe you seated on a block. If you're rolling backwards and you need to elevate your buttocks. And then bring your legs wider apart. So Upavishta Konasana. And pause here. So have a look. Take your fingers and take them to your inner groins. And pull your inner groins out. So you're going to make some space in the base of your pelvis. And then take your hands and take them onto your buttock flesh and draw your buttock flesh back. So you're seated on the knuckles of your sitting bones. So you should feel a nice spread of the whole pelvic area onto the earth. That connection, Mula Bandha, to the roots of the earth, because that's really the energy that we're drawing up the spine. Extend into your heels. And move the fronts of your thighs to the backs of your thighs. So your legs are active here. And check that your toes are not rolling inward or outward. They are facing directly up. Then take whatever support it is that you're going to need. If you know that you're a little bit tighter, you might just want, you might even use 2 blocks for your head. Otherwise, you're setting one up for your lower abdomen, one for your head, or you're using a wall. If you would like to, hold on to the outer edges of your feet when you fold forward, or let your arms relax. So we're going to stay for some time in this posture. The only part of your body that's really working is your legs. And we've strengthened the legs through the standing poses. So you have that power to keep the legs engaged so that the whole upper body can now soften. Must check in that you do have length at the front of your body. So pubic bone to breastbone, there's length there. And as you stay in the posture, you might find that you could even lower your support, but make sure, if it's possible, that you can rest your head. Well, otherwise you're at the wall and you just softening the forehead. So the skin of the forehead is moving in the direction of the heart space. The skin of the upper trapezius is moving down your back. Release. Let your eyes soften. Let your jaw and your tongue and your throat relax. Keeping the breath fluid. Just notice if there's any gripping or holding of the breath. And just liberating it, allowing it to be spacious. Skylar, bring your legs a little closer together so that you're a little, that's it. Yeah, that'll alleviate the inner knees. Yeah. Better, hey? Yeah. Cool. Okay, last few moments. And then very gently bring your body back up. Remove your props. Take your hands to the inner knees and pull your legs back to the midline. And come and sit in Dandasana and just observe the screen. If you need to come closer, you can. We're going to do Setu Bandha now. And depending on how your back is feeling, if it's possible, it's a very good release for the back, in fact. But if your back is feeling tender, then you might take a different option. I'll show you. So if your back is fine, you'll have your two blocks next to each other on the upright orientation. If your back is feeling a little sensitive, then you'll have one block flat and one block on its medium orientation, like that. And it's going to come under the sacrum area. So it's at the tailbone side of the sacrum so that the upper buttocks can draw towards the heels. So it will look like this. So those of you taking two blocks, make sure you can feel them completely connected and in the right place. And those of you taking the lower variation, it will be one flat block and one medium block. And that medium block towards the tailbone side of the sacrum. So feet are hip distance apart. You're coming to your own posture. And arms relaxed beside your body. Make sure your neck is in line with your spine. And your head is released backwards so that there's space at the back of your neck. Press more into the big toe side of your feet so that your inner groin area settles down to the earth. Make sure that the upper buttock area is drawing in the direction of your heels. And then tuck the middle edges of your shoulder blades into your back and roll your arms from the inside out. And then consciously release this upper trapezius area down your back towards your upper buttock area so that there is space in your neck, in your throat. Again, softening the throat and the jaw, your tongue, your eyes. And just welcoming the natural flow of your breath. And just as you stay here, just feeling yourself earthed and grounded in your own vitality. So in a moment, we're going to change and we'll all land on one flat block. So when you're ready, from the middle buttock area, lift your pelvis up And then remove your blocks in such a way that you land on one flat block crosswise across the sacral area. And just pause there and notice the subtle change in your breath as you come down. Then once again, activate your spine from the middle buttocks, lift all the way up as high as you can, lift your pelvis up, remove that final block, and then very, very slowly lower your body down to the earth. Keep your knees bent and just let your lower back settle into the earth. So like a psoas neutral position, just stay there for a moment, pause. And then hug your knees in towards your chest. Begin to gently rock yourself forward and backwards. Build a little bit of momentum. And when you're ready, rock yourself up to seated. And then come and sit again in your Dandasana. If you need to sit on a block, please do that. And have another block or your chair available. Some of you might use your blanket. We're going to end the way we started with the right leg crossed in front first, adjusting the buttock flesh, and then just folding forward and just relaxing into the earth. So use whatever props you need to soften here. And be in swastikasana. So again, you get much better release in the outer hips and lower back if your legs are crossed in the middle of your shins. And let your shoulders release completely. Just welcoming the natural ebb and flow of life force as it moves inside and around you. And then from there, slowly come back up. And straighten your legs out in front of you. And then change. So cross your left leg in front of your right leg. Use whatever props you need. Again, middle shin. So you get that good opening in the outer hips. Buttock flesh back. And then once again, just surrendering forward. It's feeling that you're earthing your own electricity. So the electricity of the body is our nervous system. And right now we all need a lot of earthing. Marilla, let your hands relax. Yeah. And then slowly come back up. Stretch your legs out in front of you again. And I'm going to demonstrate two different kinds of Shavasana. It depends on what is going on for you. If your lower back is sensitive, then your Shavasana will look like this. And just wait, for those of you with fine lower backs, I'd like to show you a really nice way to do Shavasana. If your lower back is tender, you bring your blocks behind the backs of your thighs. You can also use a big pillow or rolled blanket or whatever, but you want support so that you can really let the lower back relax like that, okay? And those of you who have lower backs that are absolutely fine, what I will suggest is one block on its medium orientation, one block flat, very close by. This block is going to it's going to start just underneath your shoulder blades and be in between your shoulder blades. And then your other block is going to be underneath your occipital. So it's very high up here. And then tucking the middle edges of your shoulders in, tucking the upper buttocks down, and then line with an open heart space. Obviously, cover yourself with a blanket if it's cooler where you are. Those of you with wooden blocks, if you're taking this option, what I would suggest is that you take a blanket over this block that's for your head, because otherwise the wood is very hard on the back of the head. Okay, so take your Shavasana as is appropriate for you. Make sure that you're comfortable. And make sure that there is space in your lower back area. So this upper buttock area needs to draw down in the direction of the backs of your knees. And make sure that there's an openness in your heart and your chest area. So middle edges of your shoulder blades, tuck them into your back, and then let your arms roll from the inside out. Upper trapezius releasing. You can even use your hands to lift your head to make that space at the back of your neck if you need to. And again, make sure that you are comfortable. So if you feel any discomfort, then just lie flat on the floor rather. And for your next few breath cycles, just focusing on exhaling and surrendering into the support of the earth underneath you. Yes, very gently allow your awareness to come back into your body. By taking a few deeper inhalations and exhalations. And just feeling the sacredness of that life force moving inside you. And then bend your elbows and either bring your hands to your abdomen or your chest. Just feeling yourself in your own center. And then bend your knees. If they're not bent yet, step your feet onto the earth. And just remember, you are on height. Stretch your right arm up beside your ear and roll your body to your right side. And just rest your cheek on your upper arm. Draw your knees towards your chest. So round your spine and pause there for a moment. And then, as if you're going to keep rolling towards the floor, look down to the floor and just push the earth away from you to come up and come to seated in whatever position feels appropriate for you right now. Bring your palms of your hands to touch at your heart space. Let your eyes look inward and lift your spine. And just feeling yourself grounded in your own body and feeling that openness in your heart, in your mind. And namaste. Thank you all for your awesomeness.